Welcome to Island Express Hardware, where we work with your budget. We supply all paints, all brands, and all sizes. And we are of course the cheapest in Trinidad. We also supply pumps and water tanks, and we also have them in combo deals. Visit us for the best friendly customer service. Need steel, beams and purlins? We got that. We have top quality lats and boxing board, plyboards, gypsum boards, you name it. Do you love to fish? Have no fear, cause we have all the gears. Visit Island Express Hardware today, located at Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity Shogunas. To Felicity Banquet Hall, where unforgettable memories are made. Whether you're planning a wedding, birthday party, corporate meeting, or any special gathering. Why choose us? We are spacious, elegant, and fully air-conditioned hall. Customizable seating for up to 200 guests. Beautiful decor and lighting options. On-site kitchen and catering services. We are available 7 days a week. Located at Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity Shogunas. Call the number on the screen today and book now.
I have told you all, right, that any government rebuke, any government rebel that property tax, I am going to vote for them. In the proximity of $200 million. Where is the $3.6 billion gone? The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago say, here what? If you have $25,000,
no pension.
No pension for you.
You have plenty of money.
Dr.
Yes.
Kid Rowley. If you are a leader, you are responsible for your flock.
There's something called freedom of expression in this country.
Going to get that money to pay property tax.
An 18-year-old woman from Chaguanas has reported enduring 11 years of sexual abuse. She told police at the Chaguanas police station that a male relative started the abuse when she was 7 years old. The abuse escalated to rape when she turned 18. The woman stated she was threatened to keep silent. Police are investigating the case. Meanwhile, in other news, Anil Rupnarine, a Karapakaima laborer, was accused of murdering 20-year-old Joshua Munaram and wounding his friend in October 2023. Rupnarine was released by High Court Master Margaret Sukraj Goswami due to prosecution delays. The incident occurred on October 13, 2023, when 5 intruders, armed with weapons, entered a Freeport home and attacked Munaram and his friend. Munaram later died in the hospital from his injuries. Rupnarine was arrested soon after and faced charges, including murder and attempted murder. However, during a scheduled hearing, prosecutors failed to file an indictment or present evidence. Master Sukraj Goswami discharged Rupnarine due to the prosecution's repeated missed deadlines. He was represented by Israel Khan, SC, and Arissa Maharaj.
Want to stay updated with trending news topics?
Michael Moore has been caught. He was arrested on Sunday, July 20, 2025, for the murder of 22-year-old Candace Honore, in a case that shocked the nation. His arrest followed the discovery of Honore's decomposing body in a suitcase dumped in a pond along Orapush Road, Valencia. A resident from Pine Avenue admitted to helping Moore move the suitcase using a wheelbarrow, but claimed he did not know what was inside. Moore allegedly killed Honore at his home in Sangre Grande, wrapped her body in plastic, and put her in a borrowed suitcase, claiming he was traveling to Tobago. He hired a taxi, telling the driver the suitcase had valuable items, but later instructed the driver to offload it when it became too heavy. Moore then sought help from a local resident to move the suitcase before disposing of it in a pond. On July 17, the Hunters Search and Rescue Team found the suitcase floating in the pond, revealing Honore's body. Moore's manhunt came after he was recently released from prison, and public outrage led to increased calls for justice. Authorities warned that anyone aiding Moore on the run could face charges, and the case has sparked discussions about gender-based violence and women's safety in society.
Want to stay updated with trending news topics? Then like and follow us to stay in the know.
Okay, my friends, a pleasant good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. Those of you who are locked on to our program, Hardfacts, just to remind you that we are live on WhatsApp, we are live on Facebook, we are live on TikTok, and we are live on Fire Stick. So those of you who would like to really and truly interact with us in our program here today, feel free to call us with that number on the screen, 372-2129. Today, my friends, we have a bumper program. We have really important information that we would like to discuss with you, the citizens of our country, when it comes to stand your grounds, when it comes to different aspects of the SOE, when it comes to the criminal elements in our society, when it comes to the performance of the ministers in this present regime. And we are going to talk about issues that is affecting us, whether it be economically, whether it be infrastructural-wise, whether it be health-wise, whether it be, things that is happening in our countries, in our communities, as a matter of fact, that some of you might not be really and truly appreciative of. You have an opportunity to call me at 372-2129, where we would listen to your voice. We are going to, really and truly dissect your conversation, and whatever contribution that you would like to make to our program, feel free to call us. I am your host, Imam Rashid Karim, my co-host, Mr. Premchand Baliu. We are here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, starting time 12:15 in the afternoon. So again, my friends, you are looking at your Hard Facts, where you can really and truly interact with us and let us know what is taking place in your neck of the woods. Prem?
So thank you very much, our Reverend Imam Rashid Karim. Namaste, Assalamu alaikum, and a pleasant good afternoon, Monday morning, good afternoon to all our viewers on Sentinel Media Broadcasting. You can catch us Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from approximately 12:15 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. My friends, as the Imam said, we have a very power-packed program here today. And if you all will recall, our last edition was Wednesday gone.
Yeah.
And I said it on that Wednesday gone that Trinidad and Tobago is under siege.
Yeah.
I said that, right? It might sound, at that time, it sounded a little bit too strong, for the country. But here we see Saturday morning, around 6:30, a state of emergency was announced by the Order of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the President, Mrs. Christine Kangaloo, based on information coming from the Prime Minister, the Commissioner of Police, and other heads of national security agencies. My friends, we have heard that the Honorable Minister of Homeland Security, Mr. Alexander, stated that more than 800 Special Reserve Police officers, Imam, were absorbed into the regular police of Trinidad and Tobago, filling a vacancy of 1,154 officers. So there's a little shortfall there of at least 300 and something officers. However, to make matters even more, I don't want to use the word frightening, but more critical, so to speak, is that he also announced just now that, I'll get back to you. Oh, God.
Okay,
Excuse
so
me.
again, my friends, those of you who are locked on again, if you are trying to reach us in studio, please call us at 372-2129. That's the number that is affiliated with us during this hour program. So we thank you all for your calls. We're asking you, I heard some of my phones ringing here also, but please do call 372-2129 and identify, what topic you would like us to discuss with you and join us in our program, Hard Facts.
So as I was saying, we have heard the Homeland Security Minister on the 11:45 a.m. news that is just now, a few minutes ago while I was coming to the studio, that police officers are going to be detailed to police and to guard our students at primary schools and some secondary schools also. Now, Imam, that is a very alarming thing, where we have to use, the members of the police service who are there to maintain law and order throughout the country. That strength is going to be depleted and pushed into schools. Where are we, Imam?
Okay, so again, my friends, those of you who are locked on, very, very important topic that has been raised here on our show, Hardfacts, that is aired Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. You are free to call us. Those of you having your lunch break at this point in time, find some time, because I've been talking to you all. Many of you have been calling me, and Imam, you know, we like your show, and we like you all, you know, to really talk about so and so. And we say, okay, no problem, we're going to talk about it, but here what we would like you all to do. Shoot a call to us, 372-2129. Let us ignite the flames. Let us ignite the spark so that people will understand that, you know, we're not here to waste time. We are not here to waste time. We are here, my friends, identifying what the other programmers are not doing. We are telling you, number one, about crime. We have been asking this question, what can we do when somebody invade your homes? And we have been calling on the Commissioner of Police from the time of Erla. We talk about that. Now we have a new Commissioner of Police, and it seems as though they are now drafting that bill. So again, things is happening in this government. And again, you're going to realize that a lot of people, and that is the norm, anybody outside there who listen, they will understand that if you are PNM, you benefited from the PNM, you are going to try to defend the PNM. And that's basically what we have been seeing. And if you are UNC, you're going to try to defend the United National Congress as best as possible, because that is your party, that is your machinery that is going to take you places. Like, for example, what I've been seeing, I've been hearing that the chairman of CPEP, and that is something that is very ridiculous. I tell you something, that come about just as you know, the lawyer who was held with the person who committed that heinous crime, and the suitcase murder, right? And he was also locked up. He was also detained, right? Now, you are saying the chairman of CPET, and I want Trinidad and Tobago to listen, you are saying that they were pressured. You know, if the government, if PNM had won the election, those information would not hit the airwaves. So I'll tell you something, we are looking on right now, and we are seeing people really and truly singing for their supper. CPEP CEO, right? I was pressured by Al-Rawi to extend contract. Now, when you kill the person, then you saying sorry? You were supposed to bring out that before the election. Before the election, you could have said, you know, I am being pressured, and you know something?
I am not doing that, I'm resigning.
And I'm resigning.
Yes.
You know, just now a small conversation took place in studio. And one of the members, you know, raised an issue and said we could do this, we could do that. And you know what? I said, no, we're not going to do it that way. Why? Because that is the right thing to do. My friends, Trinidad and Tobago, you have an opportunity to save your country. Now, a lot of people, I've been hearing Gary Griffith, the past commissioner, I don't even want to say ex-commissioner, the past commissioner of police, you know, trying to dissect and talking about policing and policing. I think at some point in time, people have to know where they stand and when to talk and when not to talk. At this point in time, anything is better than nothing, Prem.
Correct. I agree with you, Imam.
Anything is better than nothing.
This country, the soul of this nation is bleeding, Imam. People are scared. Listen to me. This morning, I got a call from America, from New York, right? That is my aunt, Mrs. Maraj. And she was saying to me, Prem, I want you to ask Imam to give some clarity into this. Within 6 months in Trinidad and Tobago, a year in which a general election was held, we have to face two, what do you call it, state of emergencies. Yeah. 2 state of emergencies, Trinidad and Tobago. Are you not scared? Are you not alarmed? Are you not concerned? The minister, the Homeland Minister needs to come out and tell this country what was their plan during the election campaign for crime, and why is it not being implemented? And or if there is a plan at all.
And basically what Prem is saying and what the sister is asking for,
my aunt, yes.
Prem aunt in New York is asking the question, have they really had, you know, a intensified vision, right, when it comes to planning and so forth? And I tell you something, at this point in time, right, when we look at the gravity, because this morning I had a conversation with a senior police officer. We have a caller. Caller, go ahead.
Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to the program Hardfacts. You're live.
Good afternoon, sir. I was trying my utmost best for the longest while I just keep track of the program now.
Call drop.
I'd like to say good afternoon. Yeah, I'd like to say good afternoon to everyone here, right?
It is very.
My name is Renison Jeffrey.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I keep hearing what you are saying, right? But right now there's a present circumstance that is taking place in Trinidad that a lot of people that reach out, that I feel that needs to be to the public. There are a lot of social media bloggers right now in TNT.
Yeah.
That it have a hit list out for them. And let me tell you why. Where it is the government would have closed down CPEP fee, could say a matter of fact, argumentatively saying it, that there were people that not so in good standing with the law concerning that may have had CPEP contract or may have been benefiting from it. And because these bloggers and them would have supported the UNC government, that they right now it have a hit list because word on the ground that they take bread out of people's mouth. And that is very important. A woman called me this morning crying concerning that because she name on the list.
Right.
And that is something that needs to be highlighted. I don't know in what small way that you could do so, but there is a hit list right about now with social media bloggers. Their life is at risk, and that needs to be addressed.
Okay,
thank you very much,
caller.
Thank you for your call, sir.
Now, I tell us in Trinidad and Tobago, right? That caller there has made really and truly an alarming.
It makes it even more frightful, Imam.
Right. He made that statement stating that one woman and the woman went to him frantically, pleading, right? And maybe she want to get out of the country because a lot of things is happening. So Trinidad and Tobago at this point in time,
also highlighted,
right?
Not
Trinidad,
as a blogger anymore.
Yeah, Trinidad and Tobago at this point in time, what we need to do is understand and identify. We have to lock our arms together and really and truly create this barricade and this, this barrier, and work with the law enforcement agencies to really and truly protect our homes, our families, our communities, and our country. That is what is necessary. And you know something? People are saying that, the government of the day, they don't know what to do, and the quickest thing that they could do right now is just do a SOE and implement SOE and so forth. I tell you something, when we look at the statistic that really and truly that was made available to the public, when we look at the availability of the statistics, Director, you have it. How many persons was arrested during this 4 days? 400 and how many people? Pull it up, please. All right, so this is what is happening. Police made 56 arrests in 24 hours of the SOE.
That is between Saturday and Sunday.
Right, we're talking about things that's happening in the country. But again, something, Trinidad and Tobago, what we need to really and truly do is to stand our ground. That is what we need to do. This law, stand our ground, is a very, very important law. We have been asking over and over, if somebody invade your home, right, 3 o'clock in the morning, wee hours of the morning, you find that somebody is in your home, right, and they're not supposed to be there. Right? And now that goes both ways, Ephraim. That goes both ways. Because I mean sometimes it could be, a friendly, and sometimes it could be an unfriendly. So we are
a friendly trying to leave. Or no coming in.
Right. So I just telling you, so it could be a friendly or an unfriendly.
Invited.
And so we had to be very, very mindful. Now I just want to give you a little information. Stand your ground law allows the individual to use deadly force in self-defense, where they have reasonable belief that their lives are in danger, or they are threatened, or they're threatened with
of their family.
Yeah, of having, to undergo deadly bodily harm, right? And this law that is being implemented, you understand, will allow the bandits in the true sense of the word. The Prime Minister, Kamala Prasad said law-abiding citizens must show no mercies against criminals who invade their homes, as she declared yesterday that her government would ensure stand your grounds legislation be enacted and citizens would have access to legal firearms to defend themselves. If criminals invade your homes, do not back down. That is it. The word do not back down is stand your ground. Show absolutely no mercy and attack them with full force within the law of Trinidad and Tobago. I am fully committed to make sure that the law is put in place, said the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa at the post-cabinet meeting conference held at the Red House in Port of Spain yesterday. The Prime Minister said a committee will be created, will create the legislation, and they are looking at models worldwide, including from nearby Florida. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, the Honorable Prime Minister, said there are arguments by some of that government that government should not give legal firearms to those persons who apply.
So who are you going to give
now
it to?
Tell us something. That is the problem with us. You know, when things are happening, you try to implement certain laws, you try to bring about sanity, you try to create jobs, you try to, you know, get rid of...
Imam, there are people who hate progress.
Yeah.
There are people who hate, prosperity and peace in a country. You know, they thrive on banditry, so to speak. Now, Imam, listen to this, right? As we are on this crime situation, the government is in office approximately 80 days now, Imam, or 85 days?
89 days.
89 days, all right? And the murders in Trinidad and Tobago from since when election day to now, you know, is more than one a day. Because safely say one a day, all right? And if that is not much for some people in this country who sit in that parliament, and some of people here who, you know, who probably, they welcome crime, but not for their family and in their home, but for that of others. Listen to me, that is a very alarming situation. And I support with the Imam and Sentinel Media Broadcasting, the Prime Minister, on stand your ground laws, bring the legislation.
Right. Again, some of the lawmakers in Trinidad and Tobago and other parts of the world, namely Florida, America, and different aspects, different places, you are going to realize that stand your ground in those certain areas, they would have some racial discrimination in attachment to it, in the sense that certain elements of the black community in places like Florida and different parts of America, they are being targeted. Right? When it comes to Trinidad and Tobago, most likely you're going to find people are talking about the same racial discrimination, whether it be Indian, African, whatever. You know, this is normally what takes place, because anything happen in America, chances are it's going to happen in Trinidad and Tobago. And whatever is here in Trinidad and Tobago, I believe is going to be a model thing, because this stand your ground thing, I don't think no part of the CARICOM, no part of the small islands really and truly have initiated anything like this. Simply because Trinidad and Tobago is the Mecca of the Caribbean. We are the Mecca of the Caribbean. And I tell you something, people like Kamla Prasad Bissessa, they are the Jacques Cousteau, in the sense that they are the pioneers when it comes to laws like this. But again, it's going to have some hiccups.
Yeah, but Imam, the point is here, right? We have had an election this year, 2025. Another party was voted into power based on their manifesto. What they promised Trinidad and Tobago that they are going to do about crime, about the economy, about infrastructure, and whatever. And they are implementing it. So don't let these minority, the distractors in the minority, less than 1% or 2%, interfere with your mindset and your psyche, what you are going to do. Do it. That's what we put in.
And another important thing, right? Another important thing up for discussion here today. That is a very important fact that the first caller gave us. That many bloggers are on the hit list of many, and they are targeted maybe for heinous crime to be committed upon them. Now tell us something, people might not understand it. That is the reason why I think tomorrow at the Chaguanas Borough Corporation and different parts of the country, they are having consultation when it comes to stand your ground. Right? Laws pertaining to stand your ground. And people who have, have questions and burning questions to ask, you understand, they could go there and they could get some information, because I tell you something, you might Google it. And when you Google that, you get certain information that is on the lines of Google, but it might not be relevant to Trinidad and Tobago atmosphere. So the point I'm making, my friend, let me just give you an example. Stand your grounds, right? I'm going to read something first, and then I want to maybe engage the public outside there, right? If someone is found committing a crime or engaging in a crime that is unlawful, right, will stand the ground law be applied upon that individual? Now, that is an important thing. That is the important thing. Now, you see, the first aspect of it, stand your ground laws allows individual to use deadly force in self-defense when they have reasonable belief that they are in danger of death or great bodily harm. Right? That is the really and truly, that is the information that you have to think. But now if we find somebody, my friends, we find an individual, right? Maybe he go into your land and he's picking some peppers. Is that grounds for you as an individual, right, to implement stand your ground? Is that? And the answer is no.
No, exactly.
The answer is no.
Stand your ground laws, I believe, Imam, should deal directly with your immediate property, your house, and family inside.
Inside, exactly, yes. Right?
So you can't, the commissioner of police is not going to issue you a firearm, and you going shopping, you have your firearm with you, and you figure you're going to attack with deadly force to protect yourself. you know, there has,
And I
it
tell
has
us
to be
something.
clearly defined.
And again, Trinidad and Tobago, there's lots and lots. And I would like you all today, those of you who are watching our program, start writing down questions. Write down questions so that you can go and ask the panels who are there, so that they can give you information. Let me tell you something. Stand your ground law is a deterrent. It is a deterrent on potential attackers. Because of this law, the attackers will know that the victims may resort to deadly force. That is something that we have to really and truly look into. So let us take our first break, and when we come back, we're going to continue. 372-2129, call us.
To our program Hardfacts on Sentinel Media Live Broadcasting. With me in studio is our Imam Rashid Karim. Very, very dynamic individual, very outspoken, a man who, you know, he stands for justice and has been an activist all his life in this area and on behalf of the Islamic community also. And speaking about the Islamic community, Imam, yesterday, you know, brought an end to the, what's the name of that?
Ijtima.
To the Ijtima convention that was held in Trinidad at the Monroe Road area there. You know, I had the grand opportunity to attend it yesterday, and it was really, really nice. So we wish our Islamic brothers who came from India to conduct that convention, you know, a safe journey back home. We understand that they are going to the US and that thing. So it was a success. Now, my friends, Saturday, I had cause to take my daughter to the Cuba Children's Hospital. I was an outpatient in that hospital for the, around the past month and a half ago. And lo and behold, when we went there, Imam, the hospital is closed down. There's nothing happening at the Cuba Children's Hospital except the training center where young nurses are being trained. None of the wards, nothing is operating there. We, Trinidad and Tobago, would like to know from the Minister of Health what is really happening at the Cuba Children's Hospital. We were directed by the security personnel there to the emergency at Cuba. That is where KFC is on the eastern side a little bit there. And we went there, and you know, it was nice. You know, for now you get through within minutes. They register you, and the doctor will see you, and that sort of thing. So that is something that needs to be addressed, people. All right. Another thing. You all remember DSS? This body of people, you know, that you would go and invest your money by and get a 6% and a 10% interest on your investment and capital. Well, there's one called the TSS, which is the TSL, sorry, which is the Trillion System Limited, where people, approximately 3,000 people, have invested from $10,000 to millions, hoping to get a 10% interest. Now, that's a lot of money. Information coming to Sentinel Media Broadcasting is that 8 months has passed and no one is seeing any returns. Some people were told to check your bank, the money was deposited, on checking there's no payment was made and whatnot. Now, Imam, that's an alarming thing. Listen, Trinidad and Tobago, you see these fast track easy money thing? Stay away from that. The safest place to invest your money is the banks of Trinidad and Tobago that are registered with the central bank and the credit union. They are all registered with the central bank of Trinidad and Tobago.
I'll tell you something. Trinidad and Tobago.
I'm
making a statement here, right? And that statement is something that we have been doing. That I've been doing that personally, and meeting people, greeting people, and letting them know. And the statement would be this: whether you warn them or you warn them not, they still wouldn't listen. And that is what we have been doing here.
Money we talking,
yeah, we talking about Facebook Marketplace. Don't blame Facebook Marketplace. Blame yourself, because we told you all this, that if you see something like a vehicle, the vehicle value $65,000 or $100,000, and you see that very said vehicle for selling for half the price, it is an inducement. Yes. You feel good, right? You feel happy,
and, trap you in
and
the
you
deal.
going down
Yes.
there and you're making cash offer, right? You're making cash offer. Well, I will give you a $45,000 cash. Now, that is what the information people want to hear outside there, that this man have $45,000 cash. So here what, you would meet us by, the public place there. Now, you leaving home with that money.
Yes.
You leaving home with that money and you telling the person.
Imam, how a person could be so naive in this day and
No,
age
Prem.
with so much of technology, information to the various social media and common sense.
Prem, you see, you're allowing me to finish. I'll tell you something now. He listens to Trinidad and Tobago. Now, I know Prem have a hyperness in him, eh? That he want to really and truly protect plenty people as much as possible. But you see, the evolvement of the criminal minds is like this. Firstly, they will tell you that meet me in a public place. Here what? Let me meet by the police station.
By the police station.
That, you see, that the bait. The bait is this. Oh, meet me by the police station.
Let a safe place.
Yeah, let me get a safe place now, by the police station. So you put that time tomorrow, 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning. Then you call and you tell them, well, hey, what, boy, my wife have a little problem here with the child and I won't be able to make it. Now you as an individual, you don't angry because you want that deal. You don't get hyper already, you want the deal. So the person will say, well, here what, I go be by the hospital, right? I go be by the hospital. I really had to go by the hospital. So meet me there. Oh, meet me midway and I can't come there because I had to go by the doctor. So you as a man
you
watching, yeah, you start, the person bait you good, right? And tell you that, right? And when you finish now, anyway now you come in, our next phone call reach, boy, look, I had to leave here now. Look, they send me by this place and you go in and you following this individual to the third drop-off point. Well, here what, meet me home. Where you living? And they call a place and you going down there with your money. Before you reach there, a vehicle stop. 4 men come out and bam, they take your money. My friends, Trinidad and Tobago, don't blame Facebook Marketplace. Blame yourself. Because you are the one who going outside there. You know something? Don't let them know that you have cash. Let the people know, well, so and so is the case. Come to the bank, I'm going to give you the money in the bank. I'll transfer it into your account. Do all these things and people, you will see automatically a change in the framework and the mindset of the people. All right, if you don't want it, Nana, I can't come there, I'm busy on it. And they just shove you off, rub away you, and you go on your way. So my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, this stand your ground law is a very important law. Basically, it would have been an answer to the question that we have been asking. We have been asking the Commissioner of Police. We have been asking the Minister of National Security. At that point in time, now it's Homeland Security. We have been asking them the very same question. We have been asking the Prime Minister. Now the Prime Minister is doing her job. When she said empty the clip, basically she was, was directing to this law. She was directing to this law that if you find, and she will give an example, people come to your home.
Imam, let me tell you something, right? Sentinel Media Broadcasting, myself and the Imam, and our crew here, have been advocating, have been asking this question over and over and over to the Commissioner of Police, the previous one, and the previous Minister of National Security. What can the ordinary citizen do to protect themselves during the night in their home, should in case, their home is being invaded? The answer to that question, the response is, Imam, that somebody was listening. Yeah. Hence the birth and the introduction of Stand Your Ground laws.
Yes, Stand Your Ground.
Somebody was listening to us.
Yes, that's Stand Your Ground. Let me just give you a little highlight. What does Stand Your Ground means? What does it mean? Right? It means, my friends, to hold your ground or hold your position. Do not run away from a situation. Face it bravely. No duty to retreat. That is what is the meaning.
And the other part is that there are going to be laws are going to put in place to protect you.
Right. And then another question is going to be asked, what is the difference between self-defense and stand your ground. Now, I'll tell you something. The traditional aspect of self-defense requires individual to retreat to a safe zone or a safe place before resorting to deadly force. That is the difference, you know. A person will say, well, here what? You know, use the self-defense thing, you know. Self-defense means to protect yourself, right? In a kind of manner there whereby
you walk away from the
yeah,
situation.
you analyze. You know, something this morning I was talking to a senior police officer. And the police officer was telling me, listen carefully, and Trinidad and Tobago, I want you all to listen. The person was telling me that if you know, somebody come in front of your house and he cursing and abusing you, right? And maybe he take up a paint pan and rush you. He rush you with a paint pan. Now, is that grounds for you as an individual to stand your ground and maybe use deadly force?
No, your life is not in imminent danger.
Right. No, but the problem here with it now, the problem is this. And I was trying to explain this to him. He said that very setting. You see, professional minds like Premchand Baldev and that individual who train under the banner of law enforcement, which I also train under the banner of law enforcement. I tell you something.
You can apply use of force, not deadly force.
Right. But the point here I was saying, right? All you know what you're seeing? You only see the paint pan. You only see the paint pan that the man has, but you are not seeing the concealed weapon that he has by his waist. So that is the important thing. You have to be able to analyze.
Correct, yes.
You have to be able to watch. You have to be able to scrutinize. You have to be able to have a forensic mind on. You have to keep your forensic cap on and watch and see, my friends, that if it is permissible, if it is permissible for you to stand your ground and use deadly force. That's the reason why I brought up, and I brought up something for you, right? That if you find somebody breaking the law, somebody stealing from you, somebody come and shoplift in your store,
or they pick in your mango,
or somebody come like that, is it grounds for you to stand your ground?
So
no.
So you see, Imam, how much the public needs to be educated before this law is really implemented.
And it will take time.
Firearms are issued to the ordinary citizens. A lot of work has to be done.
And as I bring up the topic, the firearms, right? Firearms. We have people, my friends Trinidad and Tobago, those of you who are locked on, feel free to call me at 372-2129. That is the number that we are liaising with John Public outside here. We are for, you know what? This program, myself, Mr. Premchand Baldev, we are for building a better nation. We are for building a better nation. If the United National Congress is doing something good, we're gonna pick them up. We're gonna highlight it. We're gonna talk about it in a positive manner. But anytime anybody doing anything contradicting or contravening the laws, when it comes to the same thing. Because I tell you something, when you look at political appointment and political position, many people are saying this to me. They are highlighting it to me. Imam, when is it that you're going to ask the question? When is that, you know, that guy, Movin Gonzalez, right? He talk about what? You know what he talk about? He talk about Bangladesh. And he talked about India. He spoke about that.
Yeah.
And what he was, you know, directing that conversation to would have been the same Calcutta ship that the person in Tobago alluded to. But the point here is we have to really and truly govern according to, you know what, according to the perspective and the percentage of people who is going to be served in our country. And I am seeing that at this point in time, there is some anomalies there. Let us be real. Let us be real. Who vex laws? You can say what? I am for real. I am for justice. I am for the, you know, the benefit of our country. You can't only see one group of people alone getting high position and the other persons who really and truly work tirelessly and you know, assisting and doing things in the country for betterment for the country. You understand? Not because you feel that they could be user-friendly towards you, right? And they might be, you know, they might be able to toe the line with you. That is the reason why I'm talking about the CPEP chairman. If the past minister was telling you to renew the contracts, and you find that is unethical,
against the law and against your conscience,
you could have done the right thing, but don't wait after. Now you trying to be the savior, you trying to save a job. In other words, that you trying to make the present regime like you, in other words, because you are identifying why didn't you do it before. That's the question I'm asking. Finish.
Imam, put it to the courts. Let the courts decide.
Right. So, and in any case, Prem, in any case, if that law pass where people who have been given political appointment, because the caller had mentioned this, that many of those persons who had contract were politically motivated and they were, you know, so by
Bloggers,
so and so. But the point here is that if that has been permitted, you know what is going to happen? Every government is going to do the very same thing.
Exactly.
When UNC time for election, they go renew everybody contract.
Yeah.
We have a caller, the director. All right, so those of you who are locked on, feel free to call us at 372-2129. Just run some of those small clips that we have pertaining to the criminal elements in our country, Trinidad and Tobago, and let John public around the world know why. Because Auntie Maraj
From New
York asked the question. You know, there was a SOE under the PNM just a couple months, and now there's another SOE under this government. It seems as though SOE is becoming, you know, something that
The
is
order of the day.
the order of the day and acceptable by
Exactly,
everybody.
yeah.
Now, tell us something. The reason why an SOE is initiated, it is simply because that can expedite and give the police a certain leverage so that they can enter your homes. They can do what they want. They can identify and not do what they want. They already know that they do what they want, right? So you're not going down that road, right? But the point
listen to you. I had to interject here.
Yeah.
SOE, right? You know why we have different embassies in our country, and every country have embassies? To report the ambassador of Poland or wherever, India, in Trinidad, will report back to his government of what is taking place in Trinidad and Tobago. If it is safe for their visitors, their people to come here to, you know, to attend religious functions, for vacation, or to visit family and that, or to invest. Under SOE, they are going to tell their people, hey, it is not safe in Trinidad and Tobago. This country is in a state of emergency. A state of emergency in local parlance, in street language, tells us that something ain't right. Everything is not normal.
Right, and
Yes.
as per what I've mentioned to you all, Trinidad and Tobago, right? And those of you, thank you, Jada on TikTok, 372-2129. Angel, join us, Raj, all these people are on. You are live with us here. Maybe you can shoot a call. You can shoot a call and let us know what do you think about this law, stand your ground. Because I tell you something, we are not saying that we are against it, because this has been initiated. We have been calling. If you find somebody in your home during the wee hours of the morning, right, where they're not supposed to be there, and they come in, because when we look at what is happening, one person got kidnapped about a week ago, and ransom was paid, and the person have not been released as yet. So what is happening in our country? What is happening in our country? I believe SOE should be 365 days.
Now, Imam, there's a young guy by the name of Ryan Barrett, all right? He was executed for failure to pay extortion money, you know. So, SOE, these are some of the reasons why the SOE was called also, right? The crime is rampant. There seems to be no hold on the reins of crime. Another thing, right? The Minister of Homeland Security stated that the Commissioner of Police, that the reason for implementing the SOE is because criminal elements inside the prison walls, right, were planning, you know what you call high-graded criminal activity in the country and whatnot, etc., etc. Hence, these leaders in the prison were taken out of there and placed in a military camp where they are being guarded by the military. But listen to this, people. Listen to this. The Prime Minister, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bissesa, said to her ministers, stay away from partying. Stay away from fetting. Madam Prime Minister, you are my Prime Minister of this country. Why did you choose to say that? Telling your ministers stay away from partying and fetting. Is it that they are also being targeted by the criminal elements and you all are not saying that, Imam?
Okay, so Trinidad and Tobago, a lot of, you know, that statement could really and truly attract a lot of different opinions. A lot of different opinions could be attracted. One of the opinions is that Prem is saying that, you know, ministers and in government has to really and truly be mindful of where they are going, what they are doing, and how they are doing it. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, the citizens of our country, when I want to ask a question here, right? Especially in areas where there are traffic lights, right? You know, how can we really and truly, you know, what we saw last week, right? We saw this, that an individual, a couple, they were abiding the law, they were obeying laws when it comes to the traffic lights. They stopped and they were what? They were robbed. 5 men attacked them. They were robbed of their valuables and so forth. Now the point here is it going to be that every time crime happen like that, we're going to post people there by the traffic lights? What is it are we going to do? A lot of things has to be done, and I am telling you, things like patrolling on the highways, like for example, certain high-risk area should have rotation patrol every 15 minutes or every 10 minutes. Police should be patrolling the area at different intervals, you know.
A heavy police presence.
Exactly.
Yes.
So Trinidad and Tobago, at this point in time, we are asking you, those of you who are watching our program, identify really and truly, go to those seminars, go to those programs that they are having, where they are hosting maybe budget debates. Because I tell you something, there are lots and lots of things that we want to ask. And I do hope and pray that we get the opportunity to ask those questions, not because people might be looking or seemingly not pro-party, you all put them on the wayside. No, allow people to talk. That is how you are going to get information. You're going to get good information when people are vocal and people start talking, especially in those conferences. Do not stop people. Give them their time allocations, maybe 2 minutes or a minute and a half for the question and a minute and a half for the response, because a program like that will last maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. Beyond that, you lost the attention of the audience. But the point here, Trinidad and Tobago, is that everything should be recorded and information should be dissected by the very said committee that the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa is initiating. You understand? They are lay people. You don't have to be a degree holder to get a position in government. I think that is a criterion should be deleted from the minds and the mentality of a lot of people. You feel that because you have a degree, you're supposed to be given a position. What about the hard-working individuals who have been doing everything possible to make sure and ensure that you are victorious? Why don't you think about those people and pull them on the line so that they can initiate? You want them in one aspect, but in the other aspect, you don't want them. So my friends, take note. Those of you who are going to these conventions and maybe programs, write your question. Don't try to feel for the answer. Look at questions that really and truly could motivate people and could be able to bring information for the people who are living in this country. You can't go and talk about Suriname and Guyana and these places. Talk about what is happening in our country, because our country, my friends, is being besieged by criminal elements. Prim.
I'm glad to hear that, you supported what the call I made or the statement I made in last Wednesday program, that this country is under siege. Now, to end this segment, we're going to our break now. There are many people, Imam, who are great orators by the junction, by the rum shop, in the market, by the fish place. They know, they have all the answers and they can debate there. Go to the conference coming is tomorrow.
Yeah.
At the Chaguanas Borough Corporation. Go there and voice your opinion. Let your voice be heard. Because what you're talking about in the rum shop goes nowhere. That dies right there. And you have good ideas.
And I would invite also those very said opposition, the very said opposition who were there for the past 10 years. And I want to say a special hello to Diamond Heart. That was an individual who have really and truly mentioned on our program. You look at our TikTok, you're going to realize that that individual said that SOE is coming. People, and that individual is not a doctor. That individual is not a lawyer. That's a normal, hard-working citizen in our country. And they can smell that. They can see when something is adverse and when something is coming up. So, when these people will go, whether it be opposition or whoever, they will go and say that the police doesn't know what they're doing, and that is the means of throwing the light out of the real situation, and they make a lot of cock and bull story excuse. My friends, Trinidad and Tobago, I want you all to know that this program, Hardfacts, is your program, where you can identify, you can call us, you can tell us, and let us be motivated so that we can be able to give on behalf of you, the citizens of our country. Let's take a break, and when we come back, my friends, we are going to continue. So hats off to a lot of people.
Welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago, to our program Hard Facts on Sentinel Media Live Broadcasting. And this is really hard facts, my friends. This is really, really hard facts. Now, coming back to the crime, the symposium talks, that will be held tomorrow at the Shogunate Borough Corporation and many other areas in Trinidad and Tobago. It is critical. It is so important that you go there and you voice your opinion. Because sometimes, Imam, those, the intellectuals, so to speak, that are really in charge of these programs and things, they do not know and do not feel what the poor man is feeling down there.
No.
Because they haven't walked that road. They don't know what it is to wait on your child your girl child who is taking a taxi from Port of Spain to come home in Londonville, 6, 7 in the evening because of traffic, and that child hasn't reached home. You want to know what will be going through those parents' mind? Go there and voice.
Stand your ground.
Stand your ground. Go there. Now, another thing. While stand your ground debate is taking place and the law is being drawn up to be debated in Parliament, and our Prime Minister, Mrs. Prasad Bisasa, and her government is very, very hard at work. Commissioner of Police, young, vibrant, new Commissioner of Police. There are approximately 22,000 processed applications for firearm, some including variation. Variation here means those who already have a firearm, maybe a shotgun, and they are applying for a handgun, or those who already have a handgun and is applying for a shotgun or some other. You need to address this situation because these applications were already investigated and reported to by the different police stations, and they are in your desk waiting for approval or denial, so to speak. All right? Now, coming back again to the schools in our country. Minister of Education, I think it's Mr. Dowlett. Is it? Right. My goodly minister, do not step or fall back into the shoes of the previous Minister of Education. You have 2 months to deal with bad, adverse, dilapidated conditions at school, such as electrical, plumbing, toilet, renewal of new furnitures, seeing about the perimeter fence, the lighting system in schools, and so many things to put in place. Minister of Education, get to work. We don't want in Central Media, when school opens in September, Imam, Prem, Mr. Child going to the school, and this are fixed, and the toilet are working, and the blackboard green, and the desk. No. Let us, we have a Prime Minister who really cares.
Okay,
really cares.
Okay, so very, very important information in a nutshell. What should be done by the Minister of Education at this point in time? Start implementing special programs whereby small contractors could be able to get the opportunity. Those very said people who have been maybe shut off when it comes to the CPEP contracts and so forth, their position could be harnessed. And again, during this period of time, I'm just giving you, and this is how how I think. As a community activist and as an individual, the minister, right, the Minister of Education at this point in time could be able to reinstate a program for this period of time, maybe the 2 months vacation, whereby very said CPEP workers who are not working, they can be rehired under a different banner for this period of time, right? And as Barry Padara, the Minister of Public Utilities, Minister in the Ministry, Prime Minister's office, sorry, they could be able to hold on to the very said workers, not the contractors. The contractors would be the Minister of Education and the Ministry of Education. To hold on to those people, bring those people back to the schools and give them, the opportunity to prepare the schools so that, when school reopens, my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, the children would have a proper school to go to.
A comfortable school environment.
I am telling you something. I went to a facility, a school in the north, and being part of the chaplain of Society of Trinidad and Tobago, when you go to the prison, you will see certain conditions, and you will see certain conditions that you could be able to really and truly cope with. When I went to that school, Prem, I went to that school, a school in the north, and when you look at the infrastructure of the school, it really and truly, it resembles the penal system and the housing of prisoners in our country. And that is the condition. And how would you like, I want to ask a question,
yes.
how would you like, our children to be in a facility? Long time, there was 4-H program. There were program for gardening. The more people, They develop.
You know, Imam, that's a good point you
Yeah,
make, you know.
yeah.
I wonder if in the secondary school there are still programs for, you know, carpentry, masonry, motor vehicle
Repairs and also
repairs
IA, industrial arts.
yes, right? And gardening. These were, in our days, these were subjects that were dear for you, you know.
I tell you something, when we went to school, right, a thing like a lettuce, when we plant that lettuce, right, you know what we eat the lettuce with, Prem? Bread, butter, and lettuce. That is in 1978,
Correct,
when we
yeah.
were at the Shogunas Junior Secondary School, where there was this agriculture in AG, right? Agricultural classes where they would give you lettuce and they would give you peppers, sweet peppers, and so forth to plant. Nowadays, those things are not happening. And you know, we only talking about AI, right? We only talking about AI.
AI is not going to bring food on the table.
Right?
You know.
And you know the hard part about it, people doesn't know that there are cucumbers that can grow in 7 weeks. There are peppers can be growing in 6 weeks. There are short crops that, you know, could be implemented and be indoctrinated in the minds of our children. Give them plants, give them a chicken to mine, and do all these things. But we're not seeing those things. Everything is computers, phone, and that is the reason why today $5 billion have been spent under the prison system. $5 billion. And what have we really and truly achieved? Did the crime rate went down by spending $5 billion? Pull up that, director. Pull up that video. I want John Public to see what is going on in our country. Billions of dollars have been spent in the penal system. More than $5 billion spent on prison since 2016. $5 billion. And what have we really and truly achieved? Does the prisoners come out with a trade? Does the prisoners come out with some kind of motivation? When they come out of prison, my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, most of the time, the criminal become more hardened criminal in prison. Why? Because the penal system has failed. The penal system has failed the criminal elements in our society. They were supposed to be reformed and rejuvenated and re-indoctrinated back into society, but that is not what is happening. All they're concerned with, you know, jam the phone and do this and do that. You have to implement morality, spirituality. I was a chaplain in the prison, and before you go into the prison to indoctrinate any morality in that, you have to remain outside like a dog in the car park, waiting to get checked in to go inside. You telling me, and we are doing that pro bono, we're doing that free. So we are going in there to indoctrinate and teach morality in the prison system. And when we go there, we are treated like dogs.
But Imam,
how people want to go there? People would never want to go there.
no really want to go there. You know, and when, as Imam was just saying, and, you know, and emphasizing so much, when the prisoners serve their term in the prison system, 5 years, 6 months, or whatever the case is, you know, to start with, you know, they have not been rehabilitated. They have not been empowered in any field whatsoever. When they come out of there, you know, what does the government have in place to integrate them into society, work-wise and otherwise? Because some of these prisoners, you know, their own family don't want them, you know. So where are they going? You know, what jobs do you have available for them? None. So they are going back into the hands of the gang leaders.
No reorientation
Sure,
back
none.
to society. Basically that. Because you know what, and you know the thing about it, the people who welcome these people, the criminal elements, you know what, is the people who are the menace to society.
Correct, yeah.
They get the best, the prisoners get help from these people, so they will gravitate to the very said people. You understand?
Yeah.
You know what?
You get food, you get clothing, you get a salary.
When you
Yes.
when you look at it, Trinidad and Tobago, when you look at it, there's a statement that, you know, you put the cart in front of the horse. You put the cart in front of the horse, and that is how the penal system. You know how much is $5 billion? You all know how much is $5 billion to be spent in 9 years' time? $5 billion. You look at it and you ask the prisoners, you know what they're using? They're defecating in a bucket.
In this day and age.
They're defecating in a bucket. Right? They're eating scraps, in other words. Right? They're not getting, you know, the nourishment, if you want to call it that. And I'm not batting for no criminal. I'm just telling you, we're talking money-wise. If you are saying that these people are getting a good meal, or they're getting, you know, they're getting education in prison, or they're getting some sort of doctrine that could really and truly get the criminal minds away from them, and they could be able to be thinking positively. If that money was spent for that, then we won't have no SOE. And we shouldn't have any SOE. But I tell you something, there's a failure when it comes to government implementation. If you don't, you know, if people don't get locked up, especially politicians in our country, especially politicians, people who have been serving office for 10 years, right? And you find you are a minister now, and you find, you know, something that is fraudulent when it comes to their ministry, hook, line, and sinker has to go down. Lock them up and set an example so that the other ministers that is coming up, they know for a fact that we have to bat in our crease or we're going to go in jail. But that don't happen. You tell me Trinidad and Tobago, and asking my TikTokers here and all the people outside here, when was the last time, with the exception of Basudev Pandey, who get a one-day sentence in jail, how many of the political ministers and office holders when it comes to the ministry have ever been charged? You tell me, Trinidad and Tobago. So when they say $5 billion,
financial misbehavior in public office.
$5 billion, that is something that, you know what?
First of all, you need to ask yourself, how much is a billion? A billion is 1,000 million. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, we in the last leg of our program here today, there's a small group of young ladies, right, in the Cuba area, and they embark upon an initiative to clean, you know, using their hands and gloves and bags and whatnot, the cremation site at Calibi. And they have done, I don't have the clip here, they have done a really, really wonderful job. That place is as shining as gold, as we say in Trinidad and Tobago. So hats off to these people. And as our director indicated us, you know, prior to the program today, Trinidad and Tobago has a body that is known by the Search and Rescue Team. Now, there are two factions or two groups of people.
Like feuding faction, let me be real.
Calling themselves the Search and Rescue Team. Trinidad and Tobago, whenever someone goes missing in this country, right, these people, they are NGOs or non-governmental bodies, they take it upon themselves with whatever limited resources that they have to go and find these people who are missing, and they are successful, 100% success. And that should have been the job of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
And even the army.
And even the army, to find missing persons. These people do not receive any subvention, financial from the government or whatsoever. So, you know, the Imam and I, we just had a discussion in the break that we are calling on the government to show some sort of recognition to these two groups.
And not only those people, there are people outside here. There are people outside here who are risking their lives. Like, just for example, what the caller has said, there are bloggers. There are bloggers whose life is in danger. Why? Because they are speaking against the criminal elements in our country. Their lives are at stake. And I believe that anyone who think or who feel threatened by whatever situation that is prevailing at this present time, the government should have made some sort of allocations whereby they can go directly to maybe a police station or some, you know, specific initiations where they could go and have communication with the threats that is being placed on their lives. You understand? They can go and have communication with different agencies immediately. Don't take your threats lightly. You understand? We are doing this very setting. We are here week after week. And you know, a lot of people come outside and they tell me, you know, Imam, the reason why we don't really call is because people could identify us. And sometimes we might say something, and that might be a target to the criminal elements or the miscreants in our society, or maybe the competitors in our business and so forth. That's the reason why we stay quiet. And we allow you all to talk. Now, you are allowing us to talk, yes. But we are risking, we are braving the inclemency of the very sad situation that you don't want happen to you. Correct, so yeah. You don't like us. Yeah. You don't love us. That's the reason why we have to be united as one force. If you see a spade, call a spade. That's the reason why we are here on this program Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. If the United National Congress is in government for the past 3 months, and they are doing a certain thing,
we will say that.
And we are seeing the program. Like I tell you something, when you had the past Minister of Works and Transport, had they ever went to the rural areas like Deep South and so forth? You have never seen those things. Once in a blue moon. Now you are seeing Minister Jolene John, and she, you know what, she is in, and she's a senior member in the political foray of the United National Congress. Chances are, whenever
DPL,
yeah,
Deputy Political Leader.
Chances are, whenever the Prime Minister maybe have to go on official visits, I think that Jolene John will be acting as the Prime Minister, right? I think so. And that is the speculation of my thoughts and my feelings at this point in time. Simply because on many occasions you would have seen the judgmental aspect of Jolene John would have been a positive one, and it is likable by the Prime Minister herself. So those of you who are locked on, it is very, very important for you to understand now that the government, the new government of the day, they are doing what they're supposed to be doing, as was manifested in their manifesto. So you and I can't come and say, you know, what they're doing. We have been asking the question.
Imam, let me say
we have been
something
asking
here.
the question.
Let me say something here.
Yeah.
There was no, what you call, social media platform that really bashed the United National Congress as the Imam and I when they were in opposition. 9 years, no protest and no this, and we, you know, we let them have that dirty end of the stick. Now that they are in government and they are doing something good, we praise them. When they fail, or you know, if they should not live up to the promises, we will highlight it fearlessly. You understand? Now, and I'm calling on the citizens of this country. Your MPs whom you voted into office, both United National Congress and opposition MPs, PNM MPs, you have a problem? Don't let them sit there and enjoy a conditioned breeze. They are receiving government money to fund their office. You go there and give them work to do. Let your MP know what you want done. Let your councillor know what you want done. Let your mayor know what you want done in your area, what is lacking, what you would like to see done in your area. You have to do that. That is why you vote them for. They are the servants of the people that voted them.
And you know, as Prem was saying that, right? I just want to mention a few things before we close our program here today. All ministers in government, all, should have designated days as stipulated, whether it's a Tuesday or a Thursday.
For office days.
And you know what they could do again? I'll tell you something. You know, just to avoid the colossal misbehavior in office that we have seen in the past, where you go to meet your minister and they are not to be found and they are not to be seen in office. What, you know, ministers could implement is that, you know, our office day is either a Tuesday or a Thursday, as the case may be. But what you can do, you can call this number and you can make an appointment to come and see me at this date and time.
Yes.
So that could be able to, you know, eradicate the stress of going there, and I wondering if I could meet the minister, and I wondering because most of the time in the past, you know, when you go to meet minister, you don't find them.
You cannot be
and
them.
we do hope and pray
that
under the government and the leadership, the astute leadership of the Honorable Kamal Prasad Bisasa, that all those ministers will abide. I'm seeing it, really and truly. I am just talking, I kind of talk here, but I know for a fact that many of those ministers are doing exactly what we are saying. But this is for the public opinion. This, what we are saying here, is for the public to understand that you have a day in every month. Is every month, right?
Every week.
Every week, yeah. I believe that you will go there.
Friday's Parliament from 1 o'clock. Right? So you call your MP's office, ask your MP or the secretary who it is, what days the MPs are present in office and what time I would like to book an appointment, and you go and discuss your matter with him.
Another thing again, I would like to find out, you know, if our standing is really and truly good standing when it comes to communication with the MPs, because somebody was telling us that maybe the MP might not want to see us, because we were attacking and we were saying things.
You will have to see us in your office when we come there. Because if you fail to, we'll highlight that in this program also.
Right. So what we are saying here, my friends, we are not threatening anybody. We were saying this. We were asking the question because, you know, a good opposition produces a good government. And we are saying that today again, not the government who is attacking, knowing for a fact that you were there 10 years. Kamala Prasad Bisasa, United National Congress, were there for only 5 years. You were there for 10 years. When you look at the productive measures that was taken by UNC and the PNM, it is an example of chalk and cheese, flour and water, right? So don't come with that again and say, well, you know what you're saying, Imam, you're contradicting yourself and you're singing for your supper. We're not singing for no supper.
Another thing, Imam, before we close, you know, the Imam and I have been advocating on behalf of the senior citizens who are receiving pension in Trinidad and Tobago. For the past 10 years, the former regime, which is the People's National Movement, didn't see it fit. The milk of human sympathy financially did not flow from their bosom. They were heartless people. Now that this government is in power, people are sending messages to the Imam and to myself. I've seen it written here in the Imam sheet, but I forgot to mention it. The senior Madam Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, Dave Tanku, Honorable Dave Tanku. Our people, the senior citizens, and those who are receiving this benefit something, what they call it, benefit grants and whatnot, they would like to see a little something added on to their pension. We are living in 2025 and they are living in 2015 pension.
It's either or. It's either or. What you could do is reduce the prices, remove the VAT on the items, just as you did in the past, and that could be able to maybe substantiate and increase in what Prem is saying. It's either you lift or you carry down. Either you carry down the prices and maintain the standard of the finance, or you do something about it. Basically, what we are advocating here on our program, my friends, is that we would like the country, and not black, blue, brown, green, yellow, African, Indian, Chinese, Portuguese. No! We would like to see that programs, unlike what transpired in the past, we would like to see programs initiated all around the country. I know for a fact that in the past 10 years under the PNM, certain areas in our country were starved when it comes to programs. Let me tell you something. People have a swimming pool. People have basketball court. People have this. People have that. People have the next. You know something? I go in places like Kunopia, places, different areas, and everybody have a community center. Let me tell you something. Trinidad and Tobago, Felicity, that has approximately 15,000 citizens in this area. We don't have a community center. We don't have a community center. A simple thing where children, where people who want to have a class or a baking class or some kind of course, they could be able to, have a committee that is running that, and not only a special 5-6 people going and voting and I put the same redundant people there.
Correct.
Put positive-minded people, or people who are open-minded, who are broad-minded, no Hindu, Christian, Muslim, black, blue, green. Put general people, everybody's Trinidadian. Let them get access to the community center. We need to have a community center, and that's the first thing that I'm going to call my MP, right, the Honorable Neil Gosain, that we have to initiate something like that, right? Felicity have 15,000 approximate people, and we are asking that a community center be built. Don't wait till all the land is given away and taken away, and then you're going to have planning, and then you're going to take back the land from somebody, and then they're going to take you to court. No, now is the time to identify strategic lands where you can build a proper community center, where you can have programs, where you can have cultural activities, and so forth. But that is, I do hope that you all are listening. I do hope, thus far in our program, we have not criticized the United National Congress. Thus far in our program, we have been lifting the barricade when it comes to representation that is being given by the United National Congress. We have not said one bad word about them.
Correct.
We have been identifying for the past 10 years that the PNM have done so and so. We said it on this program, that 9 years we didn't see any major protesting. Thus far, 89, 90 days in government, new government, we have already seen 4 protests being initiated. And this one with the CPEP would be 5 protests initiated. And I'm telling you, we're going to keep abreast, we're going to keep tabs on all, and we are going to identify one after the next how we are seeing the hypocritical behavior of the citizenry of this country when it comes to one group of leadership. Why? Because you are being served, you are benefiting from the government, you remain quiet. But when your lifeline is cut temporarily, when that is cut, you know what happens? You become aggravated and then you attack the government. So that is what we are talking about. We are talking about something called equity, and that is what this program is all about. We don't come here to brandish, and blaspheme and, make people look as though they are nothing. Everybody in this country deserves to be served equally. Thank you very much, and may God Almighty bless Trinidad and Tobago, bless our leaders, bless all government ministers at this point in time. Thank you. We want to hear something, business community would like to hear something when it comes to foreign exchange. Don't let those topics go dormant and go on the wayside like, a sleeping giant. Talk about foreign exchange, lift the barricade, let people know that here what, long ago, Prem, when you had to go for a vacation and you had to get 500-600 US,
Yeah.
and they used to give you that.
Sometimes you only go with the passport, no ticket.
No ticket, right?
Yeah.
No, we want those things to happen back. People has to be equally treated in our country. Everybody should get US. And if somebody chooses to take the US and sell it back to somebody to make something, let them do that. Let them do that.
The money is still circulating.
It's circulating.
Yes,
it's
within here.
circulating. Right? So thank you all very much. May God Almighty bless you all. Thank you all, our TikTokers, namely Diamond Heart and a lot of people outside there. Thank you all very much. Continue sending messages, continue appreciating us in our program, and continue, my friends, sharing our live so that others can benefit. 372-2129, that's the number that you have as a lifeline number to call us Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Premchand Bale, Imam Rashid Karim, signing off until Wednesday.
Ada Varas, Khuda Hafiz.